Today's focus is the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. You better bring your best because you blink and you'll miss it. Hello, welcome to Billy Ho Sports. We are in the midst of our Breeders' Cup updates and previews, and today we're going to cover the Turf Sprint. 5 furlongs. It's a specialized race. They don't run it at the same distance. It really depends on the track's configuration. This is the one race I don't like at Del Mar because they have the 5 furlong distance, which is just a little short downhill, and it's just too short for me. You misstep on the brake and you're likely done. So that's just kind of how critical it is to get off on a good start. Kind of a downhill start takeoff, so speed matters, and it does lend to a little bit of burnout. We'll talk about pace later on, so stick around for that. Now, I don't really have much news and notes. It's really tough as we start digging deeper into the other Breeders' Cup races. They're not so much covered right now, so I don't know if Think Big seemed like an obvious horse to run in this race. Could not find anything on that one coming in. I can't remember if it was that one or another one I was looking at that trained a couple of times after the race, but hadn't been on the track in a month. But like I said in previous videos, October 20th is going to be the big day where we get most of the entries in for the early entry process. But we're going to start with a very, very good horse, a filly that has fast become one of my favorites, AG Bullet. Briefly in the lead in this race last year, but then she kind of fell back to third. Lightning fast, she scored her first Grade 1 victory over the males in the Jaipur at going 5.5 at Saratoga earlier this year. Super impressive, and I mean she's just glides down the stretch at the end. I mean it almost looked like she's just levitating across the grass on a couple of occasions, like some David Blaine shit. But she carried the strong form into the ladies' turf at Kentucky Downs. She set the course record for 6.5. She's true to her name. The symbol AG is the periodic symbol for silver. So you know she's got that silver bullet ready for her contenders, and it's going to be a top choice. So this one is a 7-year-old mare, Asfura from Australia, a top international turf sprinter, a pair of Group 1s in 2025. She won at York, where she broke free from the pack late. The more recent Longchamp, much the same. They all race these short sprints in straightaway fashion. They have plenty of land out there to work with in Europe, so they can just run straight away up to a mile and sometimes further, it seems like. But this one is maybe not as much. Uh, so we don't know how she'll handle the tight turn at Del Mar, because it is one turn, but it's a pretty sharp turn around there. So I'm not so high on the ones coming over that maybe don't have any experience on a turn like that. So this one would be one of them, because I couldn't find anything in her past that showed that anyway. Another one is Big Mojo. This one's a 3-year-old showing promise as a juvenile. Ran in the so does have experience at Del Mar. Run fourth in the 2024 juvenile turf sprint. Um, Returned home to train for the 2025 season. Came out with a bang. And if you get a win at Ascot, Group 1, you're doing something special. So across the pond, like I said, pardon me, straight sprint races like that one. His trainer is Mick Appleby, no relation to Charlie. So he's reporting that he's actually zipping around the turn and preps, changing leads well. So that's another important thing, is that horses change leads. I mean, I probably should do more research on straightaway runs, but you're not switching leads. The only reason you switch leads is because you're running around a turn and you're using one side or the other more dominantly, whether you're going to this way or whether you're going that way. So, like I said, he's already raced over here on a Del Mar turn And if Mick is reporting that he's zipping around turns, one you'll keep an eye on. Now, a couple of Americans on the mix are racing in America from. So she's so spicy is she's Blazer. Uh Captured graded stakes from 5.5 to 6.5, commanding victory in the Music City at Kentucky Downs. Her speed innate. Yeah, not so good at Ascot running the straight line, but we don't care about that because we make turns in America. The speed she shows in races like the Mamselle, going around that turn, more important to me. And obviously, that was her only turf loss after she made the move after her first few races to move to turf. She hasn't lost. So, turf sprints in America, undefeated, definitely one you'll want to be keeping an eye on. Front runner, too. So, she's going to be probably a pace setter or close to it. Now, the opposite of that is Motorious. And that one started his career in England. He transferred to California back in 2022. And trainer Philip D'Amato couldn't be happier. He's excelled in the U.S. turf sprints. Del Mar, he's won the Green Flash 3 straight years. And he placed second in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint last year. Now, I will caveat this with the Green Flash this year, is he was put first via disqualification of the 12 horse Reef Runner, which we'll discuss later on, for just one of those when we were arguing back and forth about breaking from the gate and horses interfering with others. That's where the horse got DQ'd, was on the break because he kind of came over and interfered on the break. But I don't know. It's kind of suspect to me because you really can't be hard to be consistent when it does, because it literally happens every other race that they're banging into each other out of the gate. So anyway, moving on. Governor Sam, front runner, turf sprinter, third in the 2024 juvenile turf sprint at Del Mar. So he's got Del Mar experience, ran pretty well in that race as well. 2025, he's been pretty competitive. He won the grade 3 quick call at Saratoga. He was on the lead in the Woodford on October 5th a few weeks ago, going 5.5, and just swallowed up right at the tail end of that race. So maybe the cut back to 5 furlongs will benefit that. Another one, gotta include my main man Wesley Ward with the turf sprinters. No Nay Hudson is in the mix. He's as good as they get. Wesley Ward. No Nay won the I guess it's near Arctic at Woodbine. 5-year-old came from off the pace to prevail by a neck. I kind of like that. Maybe built some good stamina over there at Woodbine, because Woodbine's a lot different. Woodbine's a heavier turf, so more laboring down the stretch, allowing horses from off the pace to catch. But he came from off the pace to win by a neck and beat the 2023 Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint Nobles. So the past two results at Del Mar and the Green Flash, he just wasn't able to hold down the stretch. So it's going to be kind of tough on him because both of those were going 5 furlongs as well. So we'll see what No Nay's got. Now, the one I mentioned previously, Reef Runner, definitely consistent form in turf sprints. Like I said, was kind of a suspect disqualification in the Green Flash because he came through on the inside and busted him down the stretch and was able to outgun Motorious really by enough distance. So he came back from that DQ to win the Grade 2 Eddie D Stakes at Santa Anita. That's going 6.5 furlongs on the Santa Anita downhill turf. So he's used to that downhill break, but he's not one that takes off toward the lead. So he came from mid pack to get that win. That's kind of what we're looking for here. Another contender, Arizona Blaze, excels in these sprint distances on fast turf. A very strong second in the 2024 edition. I think he can handle the unique downhill start and firm ground well. Flying 5 stakes at Curall, career best. Sapphire Stakes at Curall, a solid prep, showing some stamina. Connections actually passed. They were thinking about sending him over to Longchamp, on October 5th, but they passed on that race. So I think maybe they feel like they got the horse ready to rock and roll. So Arizona Blaze in the mix. One I wasn't going to include, but then I kind of thought we better bring the band home. So Bring the Band Home has shown some promise in some turf sprints, but did not quite blossom until 2025. He celebrated his independence from the graded stakes losses to win his first stakes victory at Saratoga on July 4th. Then he followed that up with his signature win, the graded stakes Grade 2 Troy at Saratoga. So went on to Woodbine, but he weakened down the stretch in the heavier turf. But I don't mind that as much. I think he could be better on the firm, fast Del Mar grass. So Bring the Band Home, our final contender. There are others out there, and if you want to leave a comment, let me know if some others, if I missed anyone you're interested in, any of that things. But this is going to be a very difficult race to predict. The downhill, I like horses with explosive gate speed, but don't want to get out too fast because you get going on that downhill start and then you hit the stretch and then it's kind of hard to temper your speed. So that leads to faster splits, but also burnout. So I'm going to be looking for a mid-pack stalker or even a closer. Motorious comes to mind, AG Bullet. Those types looking to run down horses like She's So Spicy or Governor Sam. Bring the Band Home, I think, might be a good sleeper. We'll find out more. But that's your updated turf sprint field of probables, possibles, maybes. And we won't know for sure, like I said, till the 20th when early entries are submitted. But until then, keep looking at the playlist for all Breeders' Cup content. Thanks for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you want to get in the contest, split the pot and others, don't forget you have to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, leave me a comment, and we'll see you soon.